What's up guys, Coach K here with your first installment of Mobility Monday. This month is all about mobility. Each week I'm going to pick a different area of the body to work on mobility, recovery, different stretches, and tools that you can use to enhance your movement and feel less pain. So this week we're gonna start with the wrists, forearms, and elbows, because a lot of times we get those achy elbows, tight forearms, painful wrists, and we just kind of neglect them or skip the exercises that might, increase discomfort. We just avoid it altogether instead of kind of working through the issue. So the first thing I want you guys to think about when you experience pain in the joint is to go upstream and downstream of that joint. So if I'm feeling painful elbows, my forearms and my triceps might be really tight. So that's where we're gonna start today. Working out those forearms, smashing them out, and hopefully alleviating some of that elbow pain. So here are my tools that I'm gonna use today. I have a couple different, this is a mobility ball that I just ordered on Amazon. It's called Muscle Max. It's just a really, really dense, textured ball. And this is just a generic lacrosse ball. So both you can find pretty easily. Then we have a kettlebell, a rolling pin, or they make actual rolling pins for muscle, but this works the same. And then a PVC pipe. So you see me use a lot of PVC pipes with my warm-ups, and we also use them here for mobility. So first things first, if you're gonna smash out your forearm, it's usually helpful to use a box or something a little bit more elevated so you're not trying to navigate the floor. So I'm just gonna use this box over here. You could use your counter in your house, and I'm just gonna lean my body and smash out my forearm. So I'm going all the way up and down, forearm, and I'm just gonna work that tissue out, okay? So you can manually do the top, but I'll show you a better way to do the top here in a little bit. So just kind of smash that out with the ball. If you don't have these balls handy, if you have a barbell set up, you can use the rig and roll your forearms on the bar. And so if you have really tight forearms, this might be uncomfortable. I've been on vacation mode, so mine are fine, so I'm not making any oochie ouchie faces, but this can get pretty uncomfortable if those forearms are tight. And then you can do the same thing with those triceps and up into that lat as well. So the idea is that by loosening up all this tissue, you're gonna have less pulling on that joint. Another way that I like to get into my forearms when they're really tight is to lay down and smash it out with a kettlebell. So I can just lay this kettlebell in here and get on the top of that and just smash it out with the weight. So the heavier the better here, and just work that weight into the muscle. And once again, if you're sore or tight, this will make you cry. This will make a grown man cry, okay? So that's kind of how I like to smash out my forearms. Like I said, I'll show you how to use these in a bit with a partner. Okay, so now this is where you need your buddy to get the top of that forearm. And I recommend doing this occasionally if you've had a lot of pulling. Let's say you did a ton of deadlifts and pull-ups and your forearms just feel like they're going to explode. Taking a rolling pin, a muscle roller, or a PVC pipe to that muscle tissue is really gonna help break those fibers down and make you feel less tension in the elbow. Usually this area right around that elbow joint is where it gets really tight. It's uncomfortable. Also, if you're mad at your spouse, it's fun. So here I'm just using the rolling pin, get all the way up to that wrist, and just roll it out, roll it out. So that's how I do it with the rolling pin. If you don't have a rolling pin, but maybe you have a PVC pipe, Steve is excited.
Come on. Easy.
I am barely even pressing, which tells me that he needs this more than he realizes.
All right, easy.
He was just saying he wanted a deep tissue massage, and I'm barely pressing, so. So I would say, you're blowing my video. I would say about 2 minutes on each area that you're massaging, and your partner will be feeling better soon. From there, I want to talk about the wrists. So I get a lot of wrist complaints from my new members, and that's just because their wrists aren't used to handling the load of their body weight in a push-up or overhead. Maybe the wrists are bent in a lot of things versus stacking those wrists, but I never want to skip warming up the wrists. So I like to clasp the elbows, interlock the fingers, and make circles. Okay, you can do about 10 circles. The best part is when you go to try and reverse it and you're like, which way did I go? This way, this way, this way. And then fold over, keeping those elbows glued. And then I'm gonna come here and I'm just gonna lean my weight and stretch those wrists. I'm getting a good forearm stretch here too. Really stretching those muscles. This is so basic, but we overlook it. And then flip the wrist the other way and lean back against it. Just sit here 30 seconds or so, nothing crazy. And just warm those wrists up versus just overlooking it. So getting a good stretch there. All right, guys, so just to recap, don't skip the mobility work on those wrists, forearms, and elbows. I know they get uncomfortable doing high rep movements, doing new movements. If you're on a computer often, if you have any job that has like a repetitive motion, you're probably gonna feel some sort of discomfort in your lower arm at some point. So mobility balls, rolling pin, PVC, heavy weight, smash out those forearms, warm up the wrists, keep everything nice and loose and mobile, and you'll be feeling better in no time. See you next week.